Everybody, welcome to Paris. Stu from Tips for HQ here. I'm not quite ready for this shit. Just give me a... There you go, that's a bit better. So, normally I'm here talking about betting matters, sporting matters, football generally. But today I'm going to talk to you about something a bit different. If you want to make it in betting, then you need to look after your money. And that's something I didn't do recently. I kind of screwed up. And let me tell you how. So first thing is, I work. This majesty here, this is all paid for out of my own money. I don't make any money out of my website. I haven't made any money out of my website for years. The only thing I do make money out of is my betting and from working day to day. And I work a 9 to 6 job. You'd call it 9 to 5. It's 9 to 6 here in France. And that can be difficult. It's pretty well paid. It's not brilliant. My wife and I, we do okay. But that doesn't mean I can afford to spend loads of money on something and just throw it away. And unfortunately, that's basically what I've had to do recently. To get to work, I get on the train, and then there's a fairly long walk from where I get off the train stop to where I work day to day. And I thought I wanted to speed that up, and I thought, how do I do that? Now I tried out an electric scooter. The electric scooters didn't really work for me. Ended up sending that back. And then I thought, skateboard. Now when I was a kid I did used to skateboard, but I thought, you're bigger. You ain't as fit anymore. So I thought, I'll find something else. And I went for an electric skateboard. So I looked around. I found out what kind of things people were going for. And also thought, I want something that's a bit subtle. Something that's not going to stand out. So I purchased a skateboard from a company called Daibot, and I'm just going to quickly show you that here. There you go. And that skateboard, I got it about 20 days later, something like that. When you buy something from China, you generally have to wait, and I had no problem with that. Then it turned up and charged it up, took it out. I rode it in the garage a few times just to make sure everything was good. And then took it out on the streets, and I rode it back and forth from work a few times. Now, on about the 5th occasion that I rode it back, or on the way to work, a beeping noise happened. It just went beep beep and died. Luckily I was going around a corner quite slowly at the time, because when it died, all the power went and it almost kicked me off, which was no fun whatsoever. So I got off. I ended up carrying it the rest of the way to work because it wouldn't start again, and I thought, that is weird. So I came home and I thought, let's have a look. So I charged it up. So I thought the battery might be dead. Next day, nothing, still didn't work. Well, strange. So I sent a message to Daibot, who are the vendors of this thing, and it took them 15 days to get back to me. Yeah, that's right, over 2 weeks to actually get back to me. I complained to AliExpress, the company who I had made the purchase through. So I bought the board from Daibot through AliExpress, who are the online marketplace, and I was told, don't worry, we'll get this sorted out with Daibot for you. And I said, what happens if it doesn't? They said, if it doesn't get sorted out, we will get you a refund. I thought, hey, this is all right. This is a good marketplace. I'm happy with this. Now I know marketplaces because my day-to-day job, I work for an online marketplace. I'm not going to give their name because this is not an advert for that company, okay? But I know that in the company I work for, if there's a problem with a client's order, we will step in and we will make sure that everything is okay. So I waited, and a few days later, indeed, Daibot did get back to me, and they said, oh, we think there's a problem with the board. Could you show us a video? So I made a YouTube video, very poor, very quick one. There's nothing. If you want to see it, get in contact. I could probably put it up in the corner somewhere. And I sent it off to them, and they said, we will get our engineer to take a look at this. Okay, I thought, they're taking this seriously. Got back to me a few days later, and they said, our engineer has taken a look at this. This appears to be broken. Could you get this fixed? They said they would pay for any repairs that needed doing, but I needed to take it to a shop somewhere or to an electrician who could fix it. I live in Paris. I don't actually know any electricians. I don't know any electrical shops that I could take this board into. So I said, okay, I'm happy to take it somewhere if you're going to pay for it. Tell me where to take it. And they said, oh, we don't know. This so far is not very helpful. Luckily, I do happen to know someone who knows a little bit about electrics. I know two people. One of them is a guy I work with. And so he took the board. He took it home over a weekend. He took a look at it. And he came back to me next week and he said, right, so two things. First thing is there was a cable inside that was broken. It was probably pinched when the board was put together, and when you were riding it you went over a bump and that probably dislodged the cable and broke the connection. He said it seems to be connected to a gyroscope of some sort. I fixed that, but this won't charge. I was like, that sounds weird. So I ended up taking it to the other person I know, who happens to be my father. Now, my dad is an electrical engineer. He has done very, very complicated electrical stuff, and I thought this will be a piece of piss for him. And he took a look at it, and he found the original break in the cable, and he confirmed that there had been a break in the cable, and we improved the fix. I mean, it was a good fix, but we improved it. We soldered it and made sure it was nice and good and for the future. And we thought, well, that may be it. Maybe the fix wasn't as good as we expected from the first one. But it wasn't, because we charged it up overnight, turned it on, tried to run it, and nothing. So basically I wrote back to AliExpress and I wrote back to Daibot and I said, this board does not work. I require a refund, a return, because I've been messed around here. You've told me that I can get it fixed by somewhere and I can't. You've told me that I need to get it fixed and you won't take care of it. You've basically left it upon me to pay for that, and with the vague promise of maybe one day you'll repay me the money. So again, nothing from Daibot. So I went to AliExpress and I said, I spoke to you a while ago, and when I spoke to you I asked what would happen if this wasn't sorted out, and you said I'd get a refund. And they wrote back and they said, oh, well, we'll try and contact the vendor. I said, well, I've tried to contact the vendor. He's not replied. And they said, well, we'll try and contact the vendor again. And I said, okay, but if you don't manage to get hold of the vendor, or the vendor doesn't supply with a proper resolution, what's going to happen? What will happen here? And they said, we'll contact the vendor. So a couple more days passed and nothing. So I contacted AliExpress customer support again, and I explained that I'd already talked on at least 2 previous occasions, and by the way, I'd asked for a transcript of the chat every single time, and no transcripts had been forthcoming. So I explained I bought an electric skateboard from Daibot. I contacted Daibot. I got no answer from Daibot, so I contacted AliExpress. I finally got an answer from Daibot, who told me to go fix it myself, and they might pay for it. After then saying, no, this doesn't work, and I want to get returned, they then didn't reply to me at all, so I contacted AliExpress again, who said, we'll sort it out with Daibot. And they didn't sort it out with Daibot, so I'm back with AliExpress. And they said, we'll sort it out with Daibot. Now this seems to be the common occurrence. They will take no responsibility, at least in my case. I want to be very careful here, because there's probably a legal term that I need to bring in. Let me know in the comment section below if you can think of what it is. But in my experience on this occasion, AliExpress have seriously let me down. In my experience on this occasion. So, I finally heard from Daibot, and Daibot said, we will accept this if you return it to China. And I said, fine, thank you very much. Can you please send me a paid return label, which is the law in France. Now remember that they are selling something into France, okay, into the EU. In fact, this is an EU law. It's not even a French law. It's an EU law. Okay, so when they're selling something into the EU, they actually have to comply with EU laws. And they said, no, we won't do that. And I said, well, you kind of have to do that, because you're a vendor, you're selling into you need to conform with EU laws. And they said, no, we won't do that. You'll need to pay for it to be sent back. And I said, I'm not paying for it to be sent back. I mean, this is something, I've spent over 350 euros on this board already, okay? Not a huge amount of money to some of you, I'm sure, but to me, I've got a little kid. I'm trying to get back and forth to work every day to earn some crust. And this is important. I cannot afford to lose 350 quid. And so now asking me to spend even more money to send it back to China, which I'm not going to do because I'm never going to see that money back. I'm pretty sure now if I send this board back to Daibot, I'm never going to see the board again. I'm never going to see the money for the return, and I certainly ain't getting a refund. So I wrote to AliExpress and I said, this is a situation. And they said, we'll talk to Daibot. I said, you've said that before. You'll talk to Daibot. And they said, oh, well, in this occasion, because you've been messed around so badly, I'm going to put in a refund request. And I thought, finally, hurrah, I'm getting somewhere here. They're going to put in a refund request for me. They said, give us a few days and we'll get back to you. And I said, can I have a transcript of this conversation, please? And I said, yep, no problem. I said, can you send it to my email address, please? They said, yep, no problem. And I waited. And no transcript turned up. So I waited a few more days and I thought, well, I'd better contact them, see what's going on with my refund. So I contacted them again. Now this is number 4, number 5. I've honestly lost count of how many times I've been in contact with AliExpress by now because I've given up on Daibot. And I said to them, what's going on with my refund? And their answer was, what refund? And I said, well, this is about the 4th or 5th time, I've lost count, and every time I've asked for a transcript and I've not been given one, but in the last time, if you can see my chats, you'll see that I was told that a refund request would be put in and that you would be contacting me with an update of what's going on. And they went, all right, no refund request was entered. I said, what? No refund request was entered, they said. And I'm like, seriously? This is how you do your business? I'm thinking, I'm not saying it, but I'm thinking, this is how you do your business. You have customer service people who tell you that they're going to do stuff, who tell you that they're going to get things done, and they don't do it. I mean, that is literally the job of a customer service person, is to service the customer. So I said, okay, so can you put in a refund? And they said, oh, we don't think you qualify. And I'm thinking, well, if you don't think I qualified, then why did the last person think I qualified, and why did they tell me that they would sort it out? In fact, the first person told me they would sort it out and that I would get a refund if I didn't get a good resolution. Because I'd used this board for 10 days. 10 working days of skateboarding on this thing. In fact, even less, because some of that time I couldn't ride because the weather was bad. Some of that time I didn't feel I could ride back and forth because I wanted to practice. And I've used this board for less than 10 days and it's broken. And I spent money on it. I bought this through AliExpress. I bought this from Daibot through AliExpress and they're doing nothing. So I said, okay, what's going on? Because I've been told that this is going to be resolved. You're going to take care of it. That I'm going to get a refund. And now you're telling me it isn't resolved. You're not taking care of it and nothing's being done about a refund. And they said, well, you don't qualify for a refund. Oh, and by the way, you didn't put in a dispute. I said, I was told that your customer service team was opening a dispute for me. Now, because their customer service team didn't open the dispute, because their customer service team didn't log the refund, and because their customer service team has done basically bugger all, I no longer qualify for a refund because I didn't open the dispute, because they told me they were going to do it. I think you're going to work out now that I'm quite upset by this. I've spent, for me, a lot of money on a skateboard, an electric skateboard, so that I can get to work and earn more money to help pay for things like rent and cameras and backdrops and, you know, chairs and t-shirts and things. Okay? And I know what customer service is like because I work in customer service. I've got years of experience in customer service. I know what a marketplace is like because I work at an online marketplace. I know what the EU rules are because I work on an online customer marketplace in the EU providing customer service. And I said to them, this isn't right. And they went, oh, can you provide transcripts of your previous chats? I said, no, because I asked for them and you didn't send them. And they said, can you provide screenshots of your conversation with Daibot? And I said, yes, I can do that. I said, if you go to my chat, then you can see that. And they said, oh no, we can't do that. I said, well, sure you can, because the last person checked and they said that they could see it. And they said, oh no, we need you to send in screenshots to make it official. I said, you don't need me to send in screenshots, let's be serious. And they very quickly dropped that. And then they said, yeah, well, you don't qualify. And I was like, no, but I do qualify because I purchased this from Daibot through your website. And on your website you say that if there's a problem you'll deal with it, and when I contacted your people you said you deal with it, and when I contacted your last person they told me that I would get a refund. And they said, but you don't qualify for a refund because you didn't open a dispute. And I'm like, well, I didn't open a dispute because your people told me they were opening a dispute on my behalf. So I'm getting a little bit angry by now, and I said to them, if someone purchases from AliExpress and the vendor then does not provide a working, proper, fit for use item, at what point does AliExpress step in and secure their customers' consumer rights? And they dodged the question. So I asked this question like 4 or 5 times. I was on chat for 4 hours or something like that. I was on chat for a very long time. And basically I got nothing from them, and I got told that I am not getting a refund, that they can do nothing about my board, they can do nothing about my case apart from they'll contact the vendor. So the vendor then wrote to me and said, oh, if you wish to purchase another board, hey, here's our sales pitch. If you wish to purchase something, here's some sales coming up. And I wrote, are you fucking serious? You haven't even sorted out my last problem and now you want me to spend more money. And they were like, dear friend, we're very sorry, you shouldn't have been sent that because that was just promotional. Please ignore it. And I'm like, yeah, hang on. Sort out the current problem I've got. And they said, oh, well, if you pay for it to be sent back. I said, I don't need to pay for it to be sent back. You need to pay for it to be sent back because EU law. I sent them a screenshot of the section of EU law that counts in this case that said they need to send it back because they are working within Europe. They are shipping stuff to Europe. They're selling stuff from fr.aliexpress. So it's a French targeted website. Because of that, they needed to take care of things and they needed to pay for it to be sent back. And they said, yeah, but we're not doing that because it worked. And I was like, yeah, but it worked for a few days. And EU law says that if it breaks anytime within the first few months, then the actual fault is considered to have been there from the start. And they've already admitted that there's a fault. So if it's EU law says there's a fault from the start and EU law says that they've got to pay for it, then god damn it, they've got to pay for it. I am not putting my hand in my pocket to spend, I don't know, 50, 100 euros worth of skateboard, all the way back to China so that they can't send me my money again. Nah, not doing that. Then they said, if you wish to buy another board, well, actually no, before we get to there, they said, would you like this board in exchange? And they sent me this one here. Here you are. I looked at it and I said, no, that's not really good enough. I said, that board is worth about 100 euros less than the board that I actually bought. And I want at least a like-for-like exchange. I don't want to go for something less. And they said, oh no, we're not doing that. And I said, well then give me a refund. They said, no, we're not doing that either. So I eventually had a look and I found 2 boards that were actually kind of interesting. I wrote to them, I said, I will accept this one or I will accept this one of these 2. And they said, no, they're worth more than the $300 limit that we're prepared to give you. Now remember, I've spent nearly $400 on this board. Here's the exact amount right there. Okay, so I've spent a lot of money on this board and they're offering me something that's got a $300 limit sent from Germany that is probably their old stock that, frankly, having had this experience, may not even work. So, what have I got? I've got an electric skateboard that basically doesn't work with electricity. I've got no reassurances from Daibot. I've got no reassurances from AliExpress. I've explained to them what the situation is and got nothing from it. I've explained to them what the current law is and where they stand and what they need to do to fit in with that law, to conform with European law, and got nothing back. I've asked them what they need to do or what they will do to provide me with my consumer rights, and they dodged the question. I've asked them what they're going to do to ensure that my rights as a consumer are respected, and they dodged the question. Now, I'm not going to say don't buy from AliExpress, okay, because that would be pejorative and that would not be particularly clever and that would be against the law. What I'm going to say is, because of my experience, I am not going to buy from AliExpress ever again. Okay, I'm not going to say don't buy from Daibot, because that could be pejorative and that could have some legal ramifications. But what I'm going to say is that in my experience, Daibot have not provided me with the proper level of customer service. They have not resolved the customer service problem that I have with the broken board that they sent me. And they are basically refusing to conform to EU law. I'll repeat that. In this instance, Daibot are refusing to conform to EU law. Now, I've reached out to the actual manufacturers of this, and it's a company called Team G. Now, Team G seem a little bit more willing to help. I've written to them and I explained what the problem was. I said I'm getting no help from AliExpress, I got no help from Daibot, and the situation is I've got a dead electric skateboard which has effectively no working electrics in it because they sent me a duff product. And they said, we're very sorry to hear about this. If you let us know what the problem is by writing to us at this email address, then we can look into it and we'll send you some parts. And now I did that last week and I've heard nothing. So once again, I'm not saying don't buy from Team G. I'm saying that in this case, Team G, having promised me that they would look into it, have failed to look into it. And where does that leave me? I've gone online and I've had to purchase another skateboard. Now that's another $420 or something like that I've spent. And I'm pretty sure that this one is better because I've done a ton of research now. I've looked into it. I've talked to people who have purchased this board in the past who've actually had problems. It's not a company that will be, well, hey, 100% fantastic. This is a company where they've actually had problems in the past with some quality levels, and it's always been sorted out. Now, I'm not sure whether I'm going to actually feature that on this channel. Probably not, because this isn't an electric skateboarding channel. This is a channel about making money from betting. Now, if you want to make money from betting, you cannot afford to lose money on stupid things like duff electric skateboards and Chinese consumers, Chinese vendors who will not conform with EU law, who will not provide you with your money back when you request it, who will not follow through on what they say they're going to do. Now, I was looking at buying a new computer in the future. I was looking at buying a tablet. I was looking at buying a number of things, but I ain't going to do it from AliExpress because in this instance, I feel that I have been seriously let down. Now, we've been going a long time here. I'm very sorry if I bent your ear too much, but these are the problems that you can have when you purchase from online marketplaces. Ensure that the company you talk to will conform with EU law. Ask them what will happen if I purchase something from you and it's broken and the vendor doesn't take care of it properly, doesn't take care of the situation. Because if you come to my company, we will say, leave it with us, we'll sort it out and we'll get you your money back. Okay? In my experience, if you go to AliExpress and you say these problems, they will say, contact the vendor, which ain't right. Okay, so thank you very much. I'm still a bit pissed off about this, I'll admit, and I'm going to stay pissed off about this, and I'll let you know what happens in the future, if anything happens. We'll see. There's a long way to go in this story, I feel, but hopefully we'll get a good resolution. Thank you very much for listening to me, guys. It's been a long old video, a bit of a rant from me. Can I just ask one thing? Please share this video. Okay, share this video to anyone who's looking at buying an electric skateboard. Share this video who's looking to buy an electric skateboard from Daibot. Share this video from anyone who's looking to purchase anything from AliExpress, because I honestly feel, as a consumer service issue, okay, that people should be aware of what they're buying into. That's important. Okay, so let's see what happens next. But share this video a lot, okay? YouTube, Twitter, you like this video, okay? If you don't like the video, dislike the video. What the fuck do I care? You know, you guys, you do what you want. But share this video and let's see what happens. Let's see if actually putting any pressure on these people creates any real results. Because if it does, I will report it on here. Okay, this is not going to be the last you hear of this. Alright, so this is Stuart from Tipster HQ saying beware of anything you buy online, and when you do buy online, make sure you buy from a reputable company that provides you with a return service, a return policy that looks after you. Okay, because if you're betting, you cannot afford to lose a big chunk of your money for silliness. Alright guys, have a great day. Bye.